Hello everyone, it's Chris. Welcome back. I'm excited to bring you the shots and video I took in Cajon and Barstow over the weekend. This was the first big railfanning trip that I've taken, so it was a neat learning experience. The first part of the video is a time lapse from the South Bay area of Los Angeles up to the Cajon Pass. The camera I used is a simple dash cam, so the quality isn't fantastic. But there are still some nice views of the San Gabriel and San Bernardino mountains covered in snow. While the time period that Run 8 covers is up in the air, spanning sometime between the 1980s up to before 2010, in combination with using Google Maps, I got some useful information about the tracks the trains are running on. I'll be sharing the points I stopped at in the description below if you decide to go check it out for yourself. The shots between Cajon and Victorville were all shot along historic Route 66. There are many pullouts along the mountain stretch. The two I stopped at were only ones I found through a quick Google search, but I can think of a few more I plan to stop at on a future railfanning trip. For the actual railfanning footage, I had to juggle between three cameras: my Canon Rebel T6i, my Samsung phone, and my DJI Osmo Action 3. It should have been obvious to me from the start that the video quality of the DJI would have outperformed what my Samsung could record, especially evident at 4K resolution. Unfortunately, in the moment it was easier for me to just pull out my phone and record, so that's what I ended up using for most of the actual train footage. The Canon I used to take photos. It has a 24 megapixel sensor, a resolution of about 6000 by 4000. However, it can only shoot video in 1080p at 30 FPS. My phone on the other hand has a camera with stats that on paper sound far better. A 108 megapixel camera that can shoot up to 8K footage at 30 frames per second, or 4K at 60 frames per second. But it is still a phone camera, a fact that again should have been obvious to me from the beginning. There's only so much space on the back of a phone to fit in a large sensor. So sure, it can technically shoot at 108 megapixels, but the end result appears little different from what my Canon could have shot at 1080p anyway. The end result being that uploading the footage and editing it for YouTube has been quite painful, as the file sizes all reflect 4K and 8K footage size, without the image quality to show for it. It's gonna be a while, but I do hope to eventually pick up a Sony a7R5. This would cover all my bases, as it's a fantastic camera for regular photography, high quality video, and astrophotography, a hobby I'm even more passionate about than railfanning, and one that I've publicly shared about on my new hiking and geology channel. The first train I filmed was this Union Pacific Manifest traveling on BNSF's main 2 line. I spotted it between CP Keenbrook and CP Cajon. I was just about a mile south from the Blue Cut Trail marker. So, we're along, I believe this is Route 66. This is Cajon Boulevard, I think. There's traffic right now on I-15, and so roads are traffic is getting off of it trying to take Route 66, but it means now there's a whole bunch of traffic on here. I was able to just catch one Union Pacific rolling through. I'm going to wait about 10-15 minutes and see if catch something else. And terrible timing. I had taken the lens off of the camera here right as the train rolled around. But I've got it set up now, and we're going to wait. I didn't have to wait long. Maybe 10 minutes behind the Union Pacific was a westbound BNSF on Main 1. After about 30 minutes, we drove up the road to CP Cajon. This is one of the few I-15 exits through the pass, so it's a convenient spot for beginners. It wasn't long before a BNSF intermodal came around to the bend on Main 1. Since it was starting to get late, I didn't stay too long at this spot and we headed back onto I-15. There was still some traffic, but the worst of it was behind us. While we didn't want to get into Barstow too late, I was curious to check out what could be seen around Victorville. Once in town, I could spot a BNSF and decided I'd try to meet it at a crossing. Sure enough, we made it to a nearby crossing in time to see a Kia basically parked on top of the tracks right up until the crossing bell started to ring. From Victorville, we took Route 66 all the way to Barstow, passing the Cemex and Calportland cement plants on the way. I didn't realize it at the time, but one of the bridges I used as a spot for my Run 8 railfanning videos was actually the historic Mojave River Steel Bridge. But aside from the bridge and some hoppers, there wasn't much to see. Just made it to the Stardust Inn in Barstow, facing the east side, looking west, not north, west. There's the museum there. Not a bad view. The next morning, I spotted some foreign power in the form of a Canadian national, headed by a 25th anniversary BNSF. I'd get a closer view of it from the museum later. Not surprising, given the fact that this consist was headed by 7 units, it took quite a while for this manifest to pass us. It took about 9 minutes. And lastly, before heading up to Barstow Hill, we saw another intermodal pass by.
Pretty loud.
B Hill, which splits the eastern and western yards, is a perfect place to see activity in the yard. It was the last stop of the trip before we headed back home. Barstow is definitely a fun experience, but I'm not sure it's worth the drive from Los Angeles. Cajon had diverse traffic moving through it every few minutes. Next time I might just spend the day there, though I am contemplating heading up to Tehachapi instead. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed, and I shall catch you all next time.